Hello and welcome to the third episode of Healthcare Unlocked, a podcast series dedicated to shining a light on the crucial issue of healthcare accessibility. My name is Isha, and today I will be discussing the Americans with Disabilities Act and healthcare access. So, what is the Americans with Disabilities Act? The Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, is a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities. In the same way other civil rights laws prohibit discrimination on the basis of race, color, sex, national origin, age, and religion, the ADA prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability. This carries over into healthcare as well. In many medical settings, healthcare professionals may be unintentionally or intentionally discriminating against people with disabilities. If you would like some more context on what this might mean, I would suggest checking out our last episode, which referenced implicit biases in medical professionals. But looping back to the main idea, the stigma around people with disabilities causes a negative attitude to often form towards this population. People may view them as lacking something or having a problem that needs to be cured or prevented from happening. This mindset invalidates and demeans people with disabilities who are as capable of living successful and normal lives as anyone else is. The Americans with Disabilities Act helps address this disparity and create an environment focused on supporting those with disabilities and allowing them to live successful lives. This manifests, for example, in most healthcare facilities being required to make reasonable modifications for those with disabilities, which may include elevators, ramps, reachable light switches, and others. Along with this, efforts should be made to ensure effective communication between a provider and patient, and there should be a willingness to change policies and procedures to best accommodate and support those with disabilities. While the nuances in the structural discrimination against those with disabilities makes it difficult for a single policy to completely shift the mindset of every person and healthcare professional, change cannot be created if awareness is not brought to the problem. The ADA may not be the cornerstone in eliminating discrimination against those with disabilities, but it is an important step in the right direction. There's still so much more to learn about this topic, so we would highly suggest to anyone listening to explore this act and this issue further, and even learn how you can create a difference in this area. Also, on Tuesday, December 3rd, we celebrated International Persons with Disabilities Day, which is even more encouragement to learn about the experiences of those with disabilities. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to this episode of Healthcare Unlocked. Remember, improving healthcare accessibility is a collective effort. Everyone may not need the same healthcare, but everyone deserves easy access to the healthcare they need. This podcast was brought to you by Healthcare Accessibility Awareness, HAA, dedicated to improving healthcare access and equity for all communities. Make sure to follow us on social media for updates and more information on how you can get involved. And stay tuned for our next episode where we will be discussing the Independent Transportation Network. See you then.